Foundation we are going to be applying today, testing out, and you can see how it wears throughout the day. KVD. It's called the Good Apple Full Coverage Serum Foundation. Basically sharing with you how I like to apply this to my specific skin type and show you how it wears throughout the day. See if you really want to try out this foundation for yourself. Just a little reference, my skin type is an oily T-zone, normal in the cheek area. Right now, I still am a little bit on the oily side, but not nearly as oily as during the summertime. Current shade right now is medium 54. Matches me spot on. It has a neutral undertone. You do receive about 1 fluid ounce of product. Love, love, love the packaging of this. Also like how slim it is. It's not as thick as other foundations. The cap is plastic and it's kind of transparent, and it also does have a pump. It's vegan, full coverage, cruelty-free, natural finish, best for oily combo, normal skin. It's a lightweight, full coverage serum foundation that blends and bends with the skin for a natural, seamless finish and transfer proof. And it also is available in 40 different shades with different undertones, which I think is wonderful. And this does retail for $42. Have worn this foundation on its own, and for my preference, did not like the way how it wore throughout the day. What I found that works really well with the KVD Full Coverage Serum Foundation is the Unseen Sunscreen from Supergoop. It does contain SPF 40 since the foundation does not contain any SPF, and it also does contain a makeup gripping primer. The great thing about the Unseen Sunscreen is that it goes on clear. It does not have any sort of white cast, and I will place this just on the T-zone area. This is where I do get oily. And for the purpose of this video, we are only placing it on the T-zone. I'm not going to place it on the cheek area, which normally I would because it does have SPF, but want you to see how it wears on the different areas of the face. So I have applied the foundation with a brush, which did not really prefer that method. The best method I found is with a damp sponge. Now the thing about this foundation is because it is a full coverage serum foundation, you want to go sparingly with this. The first time I used it, I did go a little bit heavy-handed and it was very thick. It looked beautiful on the skin, don't get me wrong, but it was very thick and it almost started to cake up. My mom even noticed that it looked kind of cakey. Tiny bit here on the forehead. We're not even doing a full pump. It's just a very small little amount. And this is how the skin looks on one side without anything. Then let's just start to blend this in. First used this, pumped about 2 full pumps onto the skin, and it was just way too much. So here's 1 pump of the foundation, and it did give us more of a medium coverage because still can see some of my skin peeking through. And then here we have just the bare skin. So there is quite a big of a difference. So let's build it up. I'm actually just gonna place another small little dot. We're gonna build this up. The great thing about using a damp sponge is that it doesn't go on as heavy as when you would use a brush, because with a brush you are definitely going to get full coverage, which can look a little bit on the cakey side. So the damp sponge is the best way I've found to actually apply the foundation. Here's 2 pumps of the foundation and then bare skin. So we do already have full coverage, which I personally love the full coverage look. Great thing about this foundation is that it's lightweight. It doesn't even feel like you're wearing a full coverage foundation. So let me just even out the other side and I'll be right back. Just wanted to point out the blemish scar right here has almost completely been covered by the foundation. Here's the foundation in all its glory with 2 full pumps on both sides, and we do have full coverage, which I absolutely love the way how it looks. It feels lightweight on the skin. It has already set into the skin. The reason why I love the application with a damp sponge is because it does shear out the foundation a bit, although if you do use a brush, of course you're going to get more of an impact with the foundation, but then again, you want to go sparingly at first and then build it up. I also love the finish of the foundation because it does look natural on the skin. It doesn't look very heavy. I think it's best applied, of course, with a damp sponge. There are some spots there where I would still have to conceal a little bit, but overall we do have full coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup and be right back. So I'm back with a full face beat. Haven't powdered yet. Wanted to do that with you on camera because you can see the T-zone area is still pretty shiny. The cheek area is normal. So with this foundation, I need to take a matte translucent setting powder and just lightly dust a little bit over the T-zone area. I don't go over the whole face, just lightly over this area, and you'll see tones down the shine because we're very shiny. The foundation looks beautiful on the skin. It doesn't look heavy. It's full coverage and it feels lightweight. Love the way how it looks at this very moment. I think it looks gorgeous. Even in person, like if I were to go close up to you, it looks beautiful even in person. In photos, in videos, I think it just looks flawless. But wanted to show you how this foundation looks at the end of the night. It's almost 1 a.m. and I decided not to touch up the foundation, didn't blot. I wanted you to see how this wears on my skin type. Again, we have an oily T-zone and we are extremely shiny in the T-zone area. But the foundation on the normal areas, like the cheek area, it looks beautiful. But this is a foundation where I would have to really blot throughout the day in order for it not to be shiny, because there have been instances where I was just wearing the foundation for about an hour or two and the T-zone was just out of control. So if we blot, see, look at that. And this is something that I found has happened every single time I wear the foundation. I know it's supposed to be for oily skin. The formula just is not complementary to the T-zone area. So it's something where you have to really blot throughout the day, especially if you have an oily T-zone. Even in person, if it was blotted, it looks really good. Wish that the T-zone area, it didn't look like this. And let's just add a bit of powder to the T-zone area. Just using this one from Wet n Wild. It's their 5-in-1 Essence Primer plus Finish Powder, just to get rid of the shine. And there we go, we're good. Final thoughts on the KVD Full Coverage Serum Foundation. Do think that this foundation is beautiful. I love the natural finish. I think it wears well throughout the day. But if you have an oily T-zone, you need to blot and touch up throughout the day. Really depends on how oily you are in those specific areas. It looks great in photos. It looks beautiful in person. Still very lightweight on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy at all. You do get that full coverage. But this is a foundation where you would need to touch up, especially if you have an oily T-zone. Now, when the weather does get a bit warmer and then we transition into the summertime, best bet would be to pair this with a mattifying primer, because you need to really keep those oils at bay when you're using this foundation. But I do think it is a good one. I think it's beautiful on the skin. So please let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the KVD Good Apple Full Coverage Serum Foundation? Is this something that you would pick up? Is this something you would pass on now that you've seen it on an oily T-zone? If you have tried this out, please let me know your experience with the foundation. Also, what skin type you have, because I have heard on dry skin that it doesn't look very complimentary. I'd love to hear your feedback, your thoughts on it. Hope you enjoyed this video and also found it helpful in determining whether or not you want to try out the KVD foundation. If you did, please make sure you give it a like, subscribe if you have not already. Would love for you to be part of the Chicky crew. Thank you, Chickies, so much for watching. Have an amazing, wonderful night, evening, day, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.